Hello, Chicken Pies. How we doing? How we feeling? Happy Saturday to each and every one of you. I'm so glad you chose to sit down with me today, and we're going to have a little girl time conversation. We're going to have a get real conversation, actually. So I've had a lot of comments that have been coming at me, a lot of people asking me to do specific type videos, and I got this asked of me a few videos ago, and I was really happy when I got it asked of me because it was one that I was already in the plan of doing. I had it already brewing in my mind, and so yeah, because of that, when I saw the question come up, would I do that video, I was like, perfect. I was so excited. I was like, yes, yes, yes. So I'm sitting down here to have a get real moment with you. And first and foremost, go ahead and grab yourself something to drink, because you guys know I'm very long-winded. I can't help myself. Okay, it's dripping. I have myself a Bill Miller iced tea. If you're in the San Antonio area, you are very familiar with this. This is one of the greatest teas in the world. It is so, so good. But go ahead and make yourself a beverage choice of your choice, of your liking. And if you want to grab a snack, whatever floats your boat. It depends on what time you're watching this video. You might want to grab a cup of coffee, glass of wine. Who cares? I don't care. Just know that we're going to sit here and have a real moment, and we're going to just enjoy. So the question that was asked of me is, how do you meet someone when you are in the 50+ club and you don't want to date online? Now, it wasn't thrown in my face, or I don't think it was, not in my face, but it wasn't brought to my attention that they mentioned nightclubs, but I can't remember. So they may have. And I will go ahead and add that in there, because a lot of people have very strong, severe hate for meeting people in nightclubs because they have this thought process behind that. But we're going to talk about that in just a few minutes. So, so that is what this video is going to be about. We're going to discuss, and this doesn't mean that you can't learn anything from this video if you're younger than 50, because we can learn a lot from any video at any given time, depending on what's said and how it's said. So you youngsters, if you're sliding through, go ahead and stick around for a while, because you might learn something as well. But of course, for us 50+ ladies and men, it is a little bit more of a chore to go out and find someone, especially in the world that we live in now, where there's so much online dating and so much social media that puts people together. And if you're not a person that wants to partake in that, it can be very difficult. It actually can be done right, just heartbreaking. So that's why I want to give some good old natural places that some of you may or may not have thought about, or maybe you've even thought about them but were kind of reluctant for whatever reason. So we're going to touch bases with a few of those places. I'm gonna try to talk fast. I tried to do this a couple of times and I've totally goofed it up. So I'm doing this, you know, I'm freelancing, y'all. I'm doing it. I'm sitting in front of you. I don't have a script. You guys know how I do things. I don't want to sit here and read to you. I want to talk to you from my heart, from way down in here, and I want to be very real to you. That's why we're going to call this a get real moment, because I'm being as real to you as I know how. Am I listening to thunder? I think I'm hearing thunder. But anyway, so yeah, so we're going to have a get real moment, and we're going to discuss ways to find a significant other or to find adult socialization. We're going to say in the 50+ club, but again, not necessarily. Just overall, just find someone to chat with if you don't want to do the social media thing. So we're going to first talk about a couple of places that I feel that are the most talked about places, but they're always talked about in a very negative or a very positive way that proves to be no bearings whatsoever. And the first place that I'm going to talk about is a place that gets a lot of negativity, and then this place is this place over here called the nightclub. Now, 9 times out of 10, if you say to a person, I'm going to a club tonight and I hope to meet a man or a woman, that person or someone in that room is going to say, girl, you know you can't meet nobody in a nightclub. What are you talking about? Ain't nothing but no good men in a nightclub, or them women ain't nothing but sluts up in a nightclub. That's what you're going to hear 9 times out of 10. Now over here, there's this place that everyone calls, you know, it's a sacred place, and everyone feels that this is the best place in the world to go and find that soulmate. What am I speaking of? I'm speaking of church. everyone, if you said, I'm going to church, I'm going to join the singles ministry, I'm seeking that God-fearing husband, that God-fearing wife, oh, that's the greatest thing in the world, you hear people say. They get all excited because they think, oh, you're doing the right thing. Wrong. Not necessarily always wrong, either side. Are there good people in church? By all means. Could you meet a good man or woman in church? By all means. Are there all bad people at a nightclub? No way. The chances are that you might meet a good man or woman in a nightclub? Certainly is. So those are two things that have opposite ends of the spectrum that get a lot of publicity, a lot of conversation, and people are very, very opinionated by. Well, I'm going to tell you straight up, I've been to nightclubs. I met some wonderful men in nightclubs, had a fantastic time with them. It's not a bad thing necessarily. Good people can go to a nightclub, myself included. I frequent nightclubs in my younger days. When I got divorced from my son's father, that was my only way of getting adult entertainment. I mean, at that point in my life, I didn't know as much as I know now, but that was one of the places. And I love to dance. So I was like, I'm going to the club and shake, shake, do it, I enjoyed myself, okay? It was my time to just have a good time. So I loved going to the club. When my girlfriend first took me to a club, because I didn't grow up going to clubs, I didn't know the club life per se, and I had a friend that we worked a part-time job together, and she said, girl, we got to get you out of mommy mode. You got to meet a man. So she took me to the club, and I would go into a club and I would dance all my sadness away. And I had a blast. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I'm a good person, but I could go in a club and have a fantastic time. So if a person met me in a club, they're not meeting a bad person. They're meeting a woman that just wanted to have a good time, wanted to dance, wanted to socialize. So you can't just stereotype a club and make it a bad thing. Now, I met a man in church. I did the whole singles ministry thing because I did the club thing, and it was not that it wasn't working out for me, but I went through this phase in my life where, you know, I thought, well, everybody always tell me, you know, you meet a good man in church, I'm gonna, you know, maybe I need to do that. I felt that I needed to give it a try. So I joined this little singles kind of like, it was a singles ministry, but it was like not the typical one. What they did was they brought people from opposite churches, different churches, and the pastor made the decision. It was a cool thing that they did. It was very cool. It was very faith backgrounded, if you will. So I felt, oh, I'm getting a God-fearing man here, and I met this guy, and he turned out to be nothing like what he stated he would be. So here I am in a environment that's supposed to be all good if you listen to other people, and I met basically a nightmare. I've been over here in the place that people have said, girl, don't you be trying to find no man up in no club. There ain't no good men in no club. And found some fantastic men. So point being, it's all just a myth. There's no one place guaranteed that you're going to always find what you're looking for. There's no one place that's guaranteed that it's going to be all good, all bad. It will be good and bad in every single place that you choose. Even the places that I'm telling you right now are my key places that I'm going to recommend that you do or frequent or go or whatever. I'm not telling you that every single time you go, you're gonna meet someone, or that when you meet that person's gonna be the one. So, that being said, let's go ahead and get into the places, shall we? Now, my favorite place, which I found this out when I don't know, I was probably like in my 20s, and one of my coworkers said to me, because I would go like a lot of times in the mornings, I would stop off and I would pick up, you know, maybe donuts for the crew, or I'd pick up different things depending on what day of the week. There was a little taco place by one of the grocery stores, and I would go to the taco place and then sometimes run in the grocery store and grab myself a Coke or whatever. And I would always come to work at some point throughout the day, and I would make a comment about, you know, this guy hit on me in the grocery store, or this guy offered to pay for my groceries, or this guy offered to do this for me, or this guy offered to do that for me. And one of my coworkers said, girl, you know you always meet men in the grocery store. And I was like, girl, you know you're right. I do, don't I? I always meet men in the grocery store. And that's some good looking men I meet in the grocery store. So then I got to thinking, girl, you could do some good with this. So then I took it upon myself. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, let me figure this all out here. So what I did was I figured out a pattern. When I went in the grocery store in the mornings before work, I noticed that the men and the women that I saw in the grocery store were very professional women, 9 times out of 10. Not every single time and not every single person. So y'all listen, hear what I'm saying. I'm not, we're just talking in general right now. So I'm attracted to a professional man. I'm not gonna lie. I like a man that, just got a little something going for himself. So I would walk through the grocery store in the mornings and I would just skim the area. You would find, the men, they go over to the a lot of times it's so interesting because you see what they're getting. They grab the green drink because they're trying to be healthy. They grab the protein bar because they're trying to beef up those muscles. And you just you learn to just kind of walk through. And if that's something that turns you on, then you go on over there to the little health food section in the grocery store, because chances are you might find a man over there, or a woman. If there's a woman that she's trying to maintain that girlish figure, so she's all about being healthy, she's all about being all natural. So you go over there to the organic section. Ooh, yeah, women be hanging out in that organic section. Go over to the organic section and she's gonna be sitting there reading everything, and she's gonna be looking all pretty, got her hair all done up and just looking just as pretty. You can meet a female right over there in that section. So then I got to thinking, well, this is working. I meet some of the most interesting professional people in the grocery store in the morning. So I'm gonna pass it on to you. Get up in the mornings a little bit early before you have to be at work. And if you're one of these women that's fortunate enough to already have retired, girl, I'm jealous. But if you are, get your butt up out to bed, get dressed, put something on. Even if you, say if you like to go for a walk in the mornings or whatever, you like to go to the gym, you can go in your workout clothes. And we don't have to be all dolled up. Because there are all kinds of people that are going to be at the grocery store. There's not necessarily just going to be the professional people. Or there might be a professional man standing up in that place and he see y'all in your little workout gear and he said, hey, I like that. So, if you're a retired person, don't feel like you can't get up in the morning and go to the grocery store, because what else you gonna do with your time all day? And you're trying to find a soulmate, aren't you? Get your butt up, get dressed, go to the grocery store. Now, if you feel like getting all dolled up to go to the grocery store, you can do that too. You make it your choice. You make that however you want it to be, because you do what you're comfortable with. But I will tell you this, make sure you do look presentable. Now, don't go in there with no house thing on your head, with a rag on your head, and wearing house shoes and half of your PJs, because no. I don't recommend that to nobody, okay? We're not gonna do that. We're gonna at least be presentable. Wash. That's what I said. Wash. Don't get up and just go. Wash. If you're planning on going to meet a significant other, make yourself look presentable. That's all I'm saying. So then because of my position where I worked, I was responsible for keeping refreshments and things like that in our workplace. So there would be times that I would go kind of mid-afternoon or to pick up supplies, and I noticed that there were a different group of people sometime in the grocery store around lunchtime. You'd still see your professional people, but the funny thing is you will see more of the, more of the blue-collar worker atmosphere at lunchtime. It's really funny. If you ever, I'm telling you guys, I really started to pay attention to these things, and I just, it just made sense. And I would literally go throughout the grocery store and I would look and I would see, and I'd be like, you'd see the guy that had on the shirt that said, so-and-so masonry or so-and-so construction company, and you'd see him buying big things of water, or you'd see them grabbing like a salad, or you'd see them grabbing different things. And I was like, oh, I get it. construction workers, people that own masonry companies and different things like that, they come during this time because their employees, they come to get things for their employees to have to eat and drink. And so this is a time where you're going to have a little bit more of a variety of people. And now you're going to see more of the women that stay home during the day, or maybe retired or whatever, because this is about the time that everyone goes out. Now I will tell you, you're going to see a lot of little mama's drama, baby and mama drama, because that's when all the pretty little housewives go to the grocery store too, because they have to go to the grocery store before the hubbies come home. And so you're gonna see that crowd of people too. Don't be discouraged now, because you can too be one of those one day if that's your heart desire. But you will run into a whole different crowd of people going to the grocery store around the lunchtime to early afternoon time. Then there's the right after work time. Now another whole group of people. You're gonna have all kinds of people. You got the professionals, you got the non-workers, you got the everybody you can think of, because people go to the grocery store in the evening because they're trying to pick up something to go home and make for dinner. This is when you're gonna see baskets sometimes. So this is where you gotta really do you gotta use them eyes, use the head, get real smart. You gotta scope out what's in the basket. You gotta kind of look to see, okay, now this basket over here, this lady's got a whole bunch of stuff in her basket. She got Fruit Loops, she got roll-ups, she's got diapers, and she's got, all the stuff in her basket. Well, now she's probably married, so you might want to keep on going. Or she may be a single woman, but she's got children. So again, once you've targeted what it is that you're looking for, then you go after that particular type of thing. So and did I say that already? I don't even know if I did, y'all. When you're talking as much as I talk, you don't know what you said, but you got to target what it is that you're looking for. Once you target that, then you go to the place that you go to the happy place of where you're going to find what it is you're looking for. Like if you're dating and you don't mind the person with children, then that doesn't necessarily mean that that's a bad thing. Then you got to kind of look at the hand and kind of see, well, is they got a ring on the hand, or do they have that I'm married look about them? There are a lot of people that you can look at and tell they got that I'm married look. I got 20 minutes to get these groceries, get home, because my husband's gonna be home in a few minutes. He gonna be hungry. I got to do what I got to do. I don't got no time to talk. You're gonna pinpoint those people. When you start paying attention, you will know. Then the same thing with men. You've got those men that, the wife said, honey, can you bring home some water or some bread? And he's like, okay. And he's in and out of that grocery store. He's tired. He's been at work all day. He's not trying to have a conversation with nobody. He's got that look. So you're gonna know. You're gonna get a feel. Not always, but you're gonna kind of have an idea. And then you can just frequent different areas of the grocery store to kind of target and see the different type of people that shop in different areas. Whether it's the health food section, if you know that you want somebody that's really, all about healthiness, all about taking care of their body, then check the people out in the healthy aisle. Every grocery store got one. Nowadays, they got the organic section, they got this section and that section. You can section yourself off in a grocery store and pretty much find anything that you want. Standing in line, it's a long line after 5 o'clock because everybody goes to the grocery store at 5 o'clock. You got a 10, 15, 20 minutes of wait sometime in the line. The woman or the man in front of you, look in their basket and see what they got. Easiest place in the world to have a conversation. See something in that basket, comment on it. It ain't gonna hurt. The worst case scenario, they don't respond back, they give you an evil eye, and then okay, I better leave that person alone. It's okay. But you're not coming across like don't come across desperate, like, hey, what's your number? I like that coin that you got in your basket. Don't do that. But you can give a smile and you can just say, oh my God, I bought some of that the other day. That is the best tasting corn I've ever had. Great choice. And smile. Now, that could lead on to more conversation, or it could just end there. But these are just suggestions of places that you can go to meet people. You have to be in the right frame of mind. Excuse me. You have to target to what you figure out in your mind what type of person you're looking for. You got that in mind, and you go to it with that in mind. You go to it thinking that this is what I'm looking for. Now you're gonna say, well, I never thought about looking for somebody in the grocery store, but my grocery store have nothing to offer but the meat and vegetables. I go to my grocery store 4 or 5 times a week, and I never see anybody even worthy halfway worthy of what I'm looking for. Could be true. Because, you know, maybe your grocery store is boring. Go to a different grocery store. Go to the grocery store on the opposite side of town. You get a little bit different scenery. You know, and you might say, well, girl, my meats ain't gonna make it all the way over from that side of town. It's hot where I live. Okay, don't buy your meats there. Buy your veggies there. Buy your non-perishable goods there, where you have the opportunity to check out the scenery of a whole different caliber of people. Again, because now that you know what you're looking for, you know, if you're looking for a specific ethnic background, there are certain grocery stores that you can go in that you can almost guarantee that you're going to meet that person in your ethnic background, if that's what you're looking for. Like if you're a person that makes a big difference for, and you know that this is all this is all I'm seeking. And I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just saying we know that that's people like what they like, they want what they want. So you can pinpoint all of these things by knowing what it is you're wanting and going to that area to seek it. If you're standing on neutral ground, just find the grocery store on the opposite side of town and go in that bad boy and check it out. Do all the same things that I've said to you before. It might be a little bit hard to do that in the mornings, but you could always get up on a Saturday morning, make it your business, get up on a Saturday morning and say, you know what, I'm going to go over here to Shipley's Donuts, I'm going to have myself a donut, and I'm going to walk up my butt right on into a grocery store. You can go to some of the healthier food stores if you're really looking for that be healthy person, and you're like, I really will not tolerate anybody unless they do 10 days at the gym out of a 7-day week. They got to go 10 days, if you know what I mean. If that's what you want, then you go into those areas that you're going to find those people. You go to the more healthier stores like World Market, not World Market, what is it, Sprouts, and there's another one, I can't think of it, Trader Joe's. You're gonna go to those kinds of places. Like I'm telling you, you just have to use your head. Finding a man or a woman is not gonna be easy, guys. You can't sit on your butt and on your bum and think, oh my God, they're just gonna show up at my door and they're gonna be a soulmate forever. You gotta work for it. You gotta do some legwork. So we talked about the grocery store. We talked about the pros and cons of church versus nightclubs. And you're like, well, I'm still trying to figure this all out, because like, I don't know if, the grocery store, I don't know, that's not enough, or I want more. So let's talk about happy hour. The 5 o'clock happy hour. Now, you have your choice to do the 5 o'clock happy hour right down the street from your work, or you have the choice of going to a 5 o'clock happy hour clear on the other side of town. And you're looking at me like, girl, I just get off work. You want me to drive to the other side of town? It depends on what you're looking for, my friend. Make it a variety pack. Check out the bars near your workplace or near your home. If it's not happening, move on over to one on the other side of town. The 5 o'clock hour happy hour crowd is going to be, you're going to find a lot of professional people there, but you're also going to find a different caliber. You're going to find a variety of caliber of people as well. It's a less intense environment. People are more willing to socialize. You can go into a happy hour atmosphere. You can sit at the bar. This is one of those places you can go totally alone and not feel alone, because at a happy hour time frame, everyone's sitting around that bar, and 9 times out of 10 they're just willing to have a conversation. They've had a long day at work and they just really want to have a cold beer, a cold glass of wine, or a margarita or whatever, and they just want some casual conversation that could lead into ever after. So think about finding a place, whether it's close to your work, close to your home. If you've done those, go to someone. You've got to be willing to, Google it, check it out, call the place, find out, hey, what do you offer? Usually the happy hour place is going to have half price appetizers, or a discounted appetizer. You're going to have discounted drinks. Of course, if you like a specific type of drink, then you have to find a place that's going to offer that. Again, you have to do a little legwork, people. Now you might say to me, well, going right after work isn't good for me, because I may be a person that's, I still have children. I have, a life during the week. I can't just do this, or I can't go somewhere right after work. Well, most places now offer reverse happy hour. They have a happy hour that starts like a few hours before closing, and it goes through the point of closing. That was the best thing since peanut butter and jelly, y'all, because you can go home, you can get the kids' homework done, you can get them situated, you can get them off to grandma's, or get them off to their dads, or do whatever you have to do, or off to their moms. And now it's like 8 o'clock and you're like, hey, it's time to jump in the shower, I can head on out to a reverse happy hour. Now, reverse happy hours are going to be quite a bit more intense. The crowd might be a little bit more rowdy. They might be a little bit more outgoing, because now we've got the sun going down, and we've got, you know, it may be a different group of workers. You've got some of the retail crew that, or maybe retail work, because their hours are so different that a 5 o'clock rush hour happy hour don't work for them. Or you have more of maybe even like the blue collar workers that have the construction companies, and they work through the constructions, or they, you know, that type of job, because their hours necessarily don't end at 5. They usually end when the sun goes down. So you're going to have a whole different caliber of people that are going to hit that happy hour crowd. And on a Friday night, happy hour crowd will be a much more, 9 times out of 10 will be a much more intense crowd as well, because a lot of people don't have to get up and go to work the next day. They feel like they can stay longer, they can just have a great time. But you don't necessarily want to just do Friday nights. You can make it in your schedule to go on a Wednesday night, on a Tuesday night, or whatever, and hit that reverse happy hour, just to see, you know, go different nights to find out what the different crowds are, because every place will have different crowds. And of course, you have to target the place that's going to suit you. So we've done that. Again, like I said, the 5 o'clock happy hour won't be quite as intense, more of a let's chit chat around the table event. Whereas the evening one, that one's going to be more, you're going to find more of a pickup crowd as well. There are going to be people that are going to basically be targeting, looking for someone maybe to ask out to dinner or something like that, because it is a little bit more intense environment. So you're like, okay, well, I'm learning something here. I may try some of these places, but do you have anything else you can recommend? So let's talk about going to places such as sporting events, and like say I live in San Antonio. You guys know I'm a big Spurs fan. So I would go to a Spurs game, and I've gone to a Spurs game, and I've met some wonderful people from the opposite sex, just having great conversation and just indulging in a good adult fun. Not meaning that, not necessarily that I had a relationship with anyone that I met there, but again, I wasn't necessarily seeking a relationship. I just have gone and found that I find a lot of people to chat with. Now you might say, girl, I don't like sports, and that can be totally fine. Now if you totally hate sports, and in your agenda you're thinking, I don't want a man or a woman that like anything to do with sports because I'm not having it, then this might not be a place for you to go. But again, I have to say, there are also sometimes you go to a place like this, and there's that person that has that same feeling that you have, but you know, they were at their office, and one of the vendors came in, because the vendor's trying to make, you know, them work with them and use their business. So they said to you, here, Miss Smith, I'm going to give you some tickets to the Spurs game. So you got these tickets, and you're like, well, I guess I should go, right? So there are going to be people just like that at the Spurs game that were given tickets that may not be fans, but they went anyway. So it never hurts. Like, you can never go wrong just trying new things. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be a sports fan, or that, you know, you just never know. It's worth trying. Now, another place to go to is a place, or a type of a place or event, or however you want to put it, is especially in the summertime, if you live in a place that offer outdoor entertainment, parks. There are places like Jazz in the Park. There's you know, people that there's some places that offer movie theaters at night, like they call it after dark theater, or in the park theater. There's so many different places like that in different various cities. Of course, depends on what city you're in and things of that nature, but be willing to give it a try. I mean, you may say, girl, it's hot outside, I don't want to sit outside in the heat. Well, you know what, again, like I said, you got to be willing to do some legwork. It's just not going to happen naturally. It's not, you know, the chances of someone ringing your doorbell literally and walking into your life is probably like a 0 to none chance. So you got to be willing. So go sit in the heat for a little bit. Put on some cool clothing so that you won't burn up. Take yourself a little, you know, a little fan that you can fan your head with and keep yourself cool. Get you a big old bottle of water and go and sit out in the park and enjoy yourself. Because I have met some fantastic people at places like that. And you guys know I'm a conversationalist, so I don't mind chatting with anybody. So I know that for me, I can meet people a lot easier than most. But I will tell you that if you try any of these places, then you are more than likely going to, at some point or another, I'm not guarantee you, because I can't guarantee anybody anything, but I'm telling you that your chances will grow tremendously. But I will tell you that if you're not willing to get up off of your bum, and do a little something something, you will never ever meet that person, whether you're a male or you're a female. Now I'm going to share with you guys a little bit of an experiment that my girlfriend and I did last night. We were trying to decide on a place to go to have some adult conversation, some adult entertainment, and part of me wanted to do this before I did this video because I wanted to be able to share with you my findings. I've shared with you about targeting different sides of towns, and this was kind of like the experiment that we were going to work into last night. Now she and I go to happy hour quite a bit on Fridays. We've done the weekday thing, but lately our weekday schedules have been a little bit off, so we've kind of pretty much chosen to make it Fridays our happy hour day. And we typically would go to this one side of town because my girlfriend is a big margarita drinker, and we would go to the specific side of town and have this one margarita that she absolutely loved. And it was, I mean, like, the chances of meeting someone of her liking in that place was probably like 0 to none, because it was just not a place that she would probably meet a person to be a prospective soulmate. Now, was it impossible? No. But I will say that the several times that we've gone, there was never any type of encounter, not even a close encounter. So the choice was mine to make of a place that we were going to go this time for happy hour. We were going to choose a different place altogether. Now, because I'm not a drinker, I knew that I had to find a place that was going to be accommodating to her. But I also knew that I wanted to find a place that was going to be different and fun. And I wanted more of an interaction. So I wanted more or less like a bar, food, atmospheric place. So we went to a different side of town. We went to a place that had more of an upbeat crowd. The variety of people were much different. The choices were endless. And we chose to do the reverse happy hour. We spent the earlier part of the evening shopping and just doing the things that we girls like to do. And then we got to the point of near being starved, and so we were like, okay, it's time to go hit the reverse happy hour time frame. So we walked our little butts into the place and we sat at the bar. Now, I did tell her that I was doing this experiment, that I wanted to kind of, you know, I wanted to search the crowd, if you will, because I wanted to talk about my experience on my channel today. And so she thought it was kind of fun. So she was like, okay, well, I'm gonna, you know, we're gonna do this together. Now, of course, I didn't take my camera because I'm not that comfortable yet, and I didn't want to put people on the spot. I wasn't ready to go all out like that. But I did use my time wisely, and I did take the time to kind of skim the area, whether it was the bar area that's right around the bar or the bar area where the people have the tables sitting out in the bar area, to the patio outside as well. Now, again, I will say we were on a side of town that offered a certain caliber of people, but of course, we're not the only people that think that way. You know, it's a free country. Everybody and anybody can go anywhere they feel like. So, you know, you're gonna have a mixture of people. So I'm sitting there and I'm skimming the area, and I'm looking at couples. I'm looking at the group of guys that are, you can obviously tell, are businessmen, and they are probably here on an assignment to do whatever, and they're just in their own little world and they're having a good time. And to the women that you see, the ladies that are hitting this little spot before they head out to the nightclub, because they got a whole different look about them. To the ladies that are like me and my friend, that we're just kind of there. We're not, you can't really pinpoint what they're there for, because they're not like dressed overly excitedly, and they're not as, I mean, you know, they're just kind of, they're having conversations with each other, but they're just not looking like, you just don't know. We saw that type of people. And then, you know, we saw the little happy couples that were there, and they were having their little like happy hour time together. And then we saw the first daters. I mean, there was such a variety of people that like I said, I was totally skimming the area, and I was totally being very aware of every type of person that I saw, because I wanted to share my experience with you all. So I conversated with several different types of people. I conversated with ladies that were sitting there with their significant others, to conversating with ladies or men that were there, and they just kind of picked up a conversation with the person sitting next to them, and we kind of chatted, and we just kind of talked about like, why is it that they come to the place that they come to. And the answers that I got were all pretty much very similar. I had some of the men that were saying that, you know, they were like, one gentleman was very nice, a very handsome man, and he said that he'd been in town for 7 months, and he, you know, of course, been working a lot since he'd been in town, and he hadn't met anybody. So when he got off work that day, he thought he'd come in there, have himself a drink, and just sit and watch the crowd. So again, perfect person for somebody, you know. So, and then there was a lady, and she was pretty much the same thing. She had lived here for a while, but she'd recently gone through a divorce, and she was just like, I'm trying to, you know, be a little bit more outgoing, and I thought I just, you know, I was over here shopping because it's near a lot of shopping places, and I thought I'm gonna just come in and have myself, you know, something to eat and, you know, something to drink before I go home and go to bed. Perfect for somebody. Yes indeed, yes indeed. Like I said, it was just such an experiment, and we ended up closing the bar down that last night. My girlfriend was having a great time. Of course, she didn't meet anybody, but honestly, I will say this, her intentions really wasn't to meet anybody last night. We were just really, we were going for the experiment of things, and she has someone that's in her pipeline now that she's working on. So it wasn't really, we weren't really going for that purpose, but I wanted to use the time wisely, and I wanted to see what type of people, and I used it from the thought process of what I would be looking for to making the decision of where I wanted to go. So I chose a place that if I was truly looking for a significant other, that's the side of town I would go to, that's the type of place I would go to. And I just kind of skimmed the area to see like what type of people were actually coming into the area. So I'm telling you things from my own personal experience, and I mean, we had a great night out and it was fun. So I'm asking you to be brave and to give all of any and all of these things a try, because you can't just do one thing and say, well, it didn't work for me, and, you know, write it all off. I mean, I've listed a lot of things today. I've talked about a lot of things that you just got to be willing to try. What else can I say? You just got to be willing to try them. You're going to have to step out of your comfort zone. And one of the things that I do want to say, that in visiting all of these places above, please think about the way you're carrying yourself. Think about the way you're coming off to people. If you go into any given place at any given time, and you're standing there or sitting there, you have a frown on your face, you're giving the attitude towards everybody around you that don't talk to me, don't nothing, I'm not in the mood, then that's what you're going to get back. Warm up your heart, bring out your smile, be on your best behavior, because your actions are going to be what draw another person into you 9 times out of 10. So if you have a standoffish about you, a standoffish-ish, that's not a word, is it? No, but you know what I'm saying. If you're saying, back off, get out of my face, I don't feel like being bothered, that's what's going to happen to you. You got to be warm, you got to be caring, you got to be loving, you got to be willing to conversate. When someone even asks you something like, like a dumb question, have you eaten here before? Answer them with a smile, and take pride in it. Take time to, you know, maybe tell them about something that's on the menu that's really good, because that could be a pickup line. That could be their way of just trying to have a conversation with you. Again, people, you got to be willing to do the work. So I don't know, I hope this was educational enough. Most of this was spoken upon my own personal experiences. I'm not telling you anything that I haven't tried or done myself. I've met people in every single way that I've shared with you guys today. My experiences were true experiences, and I just wanted to make this as real as possible. So we just had a fantastic Get Real With Me moment. So I hope this was fun for you, as much fun for you as it was for me. I'm going to take one final sip of this drink, and I'm going to go ahead and get ready to get off, because girlfriend got a place to go tonight. I'm going to listen to, what am I going to do tonight? Live music. Didn't I mention that? Parks and things like that. I'm actually going to a burger joint that have they have a little section out back that have live music. I think every weekend and several times throughout the week they have live music. Again, this isn't a full-on bar atmosphere. The crowd will range from about 25 to whatever age. Might see a few 21-year-olds in there, but I'm pretty sure you have to be 21 to get in there, period. I guess, I don't know. The burger part, not, you know, obviously not, but I think the little band area, the little dance area in the back, I think you do. But again, I don't mind places like this. This could be a place that's a total turn off to you, but I'm going to a place like that tonight. Maybe I'll surf the area, and I'll write in the description bar below just what happened tonight, because this is going to be a totally different atmosphere. This is going to be live music. This is going to be a tad bit more on the clubbish side, but not a club, but it's going to have a little bit more impact than going to, per se, a happy hour bar, because this is going to be a little bit more of a I came here to get my freak on atmosphere. So, but the music is going to be kind of like a blues-ish, jazz-ish type of music. So still maybe not as intense. I don't know. I think it's going to pull a more of an older crowd, but I could be totally wrong. You just never know. This band is well known. They've kind of gotten pretty popular here in our area, as well as they do tours all around. So I expect the place is going to be crowded, but maybe I will share in the description bar with you just how it goes tonight. Maybe I'll just, like I said, skim the area and just kind of figure out and see like what I see, and I can share that with you guys. So remember, whether you're male or female, it doesn't matter whether you're 25 or 55. If you're seeking someone and you just feel like you just don't want to do the social media thing, you just want to find someone another way, that you're more of a I just want to meet someone face to face, try any or all of the things that I've suggested to you before today, and make sure that you are fitting the image of which you're trying to portray. Like, look at your appearance, look at, you know, I mean, I'm not saying you know, you got to go out here and be somebody that you're not, but you also do have to think about, do not make yourself look to where you're not going to be welcomed. You know, don't sit there with your frown on your face. You know, make sure that you're groomed, you're looking your best, you're acting your best. As your mama used to say, girl, boy, you better be on your best behavior. That's what you need to take with you when you go out to these places. Happy hunting, guys. I will see you guys in my very next video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Once you hit that subscribe button, you're going to be a sugar pie. And once you hit that subscribe button, there's a little button that's right next to it called the notification bell. Please, please, by all means, hit that notification bell, because that's how you become a notified sugar pie, and then you can be a part of this real chat time with me. Just sit down. Whenever I do these videos, we're not going to talk about how often they're going to be, because if I do, then I'll screw it up. But just, you'll be able to sit down with me whenever I do these videos, because you're going to know when I do them by hitting that notification bell. Feel free to comment below, share with me any of your experiences. Go out and try some of these and put your experience below. When you see this video, if it's on a weeknight, if it's on a weekend night, go out somewhere and try one of the things I just mentioned, and then come back and comment on it. Let me know what your success rate was. How did you feel about it? Just leave me some chit chat, okay? Thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys in my very next video. Hugs and kisses.